Welcome to Ole Walls house. It's me. It's your man. It's your main man. It's Ole Walls. And I'm coming to you with episode 210 today of Ole Walls house. Just want to start off, as always, by saying thank you to everybody. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the watches. Appreciate the listens. So thank you. Thank you so much for, like I said, just watching, supporting, the likes, the subscribes. And as you guys know, if you could just do that, like, subscribe, comment, share, do all that stuff. Like the comments and stuff are just as important as anything else. Sorry, my computer's being funky here. I got to do something. But yeah, so thank you so much. Got a fun show. Well, probably fun for you guys. I have to relive some things. We're going to be talking NFL playoffs of Wildcard Weekend. Such a shame that's no longer Super Wildcard Weekend. We got some football games to talk about. I will be getting you reactions to the Steelers game tonight. Just probably more heartbreak for your boy on the way. But doing all that, talking college football playoffs. I realized I completely forgot to talk about the college football playoff last week, so I'll recap the semifinal games, kind of give my thoughts there. We'll also do some Flyers, some Carolina basketball, and of course, my passing thoughts. Some interesting stuff going on in the world that I'm going to talk about there. So, as I ramble, don't forget you can get your merch shop stuff in the show notes, and the link is listed below. You can find stuff for the Ole Walls house in there, as well as for the Full Range podcast. And don't forget to check out my guy MJ over at the Full Range Pod on Spotify and on the Ole Walls House YouTube channel. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Another January, another debilitating Packers playoff loss. It's getting hard to even count them all at this point. The Favre interception in 2007. Rodgers getting sack fumbled while his face mask was ripped off in 9. The collapse against the Giants in 11. The Seattle Seahawks in 14. Can't field an onside kick, kicking field goals from the 1 yard line. That whole debacle. 15. The Arizona Cardinals. Rodgers wills them back into it, throwing freaking back-to-back Hail Marys. They can't cover a slant across the middle. Getting run off the field in 2016 and 2019 in the NFC title games. 2020 against the Buccaneers. Brady throws 2 or maybe even 3 interceptions in the second half. Can't get it done. LaFleur kicks the field goal. Down 8 with 2.5 minutes left or whatever it was. The blocked punt in 21 versus the 49ers. The choke job against the 49ers in 22, whatever it was. And then this. Up 21-3 at halftime. 21-6 to start the fourth quarter. 21-9, even into the fourth quarter a little bit. Then 27-16 with 6.5 minutes left to go in the game. I'm out of words. It was such a disastrous end of the year that I walked into this game expecting the Packers to lose, and I think I said it was probably going to be by double digits. But I had a hope. I'm like, maybe they'll find something. They've really dominated games against the Bears this year. Like, they really have. I know they lost one, and it was like a fourth quarter comeback that did it, but like they dominated a lot of that game, and it took Jordan Love going down. Like, maybe they can just beat the Bears. Maybe the Bears aren't ready. Like, the luck's got to run out eventually. They're 2-6 in games where they don't cause multiple turnovers. And then the first half goes like it does. Jordan Love's balling out. Romeo Doubs is catching balls. Watson is doing things. He was doing, he fumbled on the 1 yard line. Doubs recovered it and they ended up scoring on that eventually. But it's like, man, everything's going right until it wasn't. And it all kind of started at the very end of the first half. McManus missed the kick. It was a longer field goal, so I'm not really going to hold this one so much against him. But he had just made it, and then he hooked the second one. And I've said all year, the special teams is going to cost this team a game when it really matters, probably in the playoffs. It happened. But still, I'm feeling good. Like, the offense was firing in the first half. 21-3. The defense had picked off Williams and was bending but not breaking. The only problem about defense that bend that don't break is that they eventually always break. And then the second half starts, and the offense just looks stale. And with 6:30 and a little past midfield, and this didn't end up in points, but it was just indicative of what this team does all year. Soft and undisciplined. The offense is completely stalled out. It's a little past midfield, and there's a big pile up, a big scrum on a run, and Keyshawn Nixon comes flying in and jumps on the pile and gets a 15-yarder. And I was like, of fucking course he is. And they didn't end up scoring because Williams ended up throwing an interception on fourth down by the goal line. But it's just like, what are we doing? That was 3 minutes left in the third. They should have done something, but there was just nothing. Right after that, we threw a pass to a lineman who was rumbling down the field and fumbled it. It bounced out of bounds, thank God, or the Bears would have had it right there back. I mean, Josh Jacobs looked incredible in the first half. In the second half, they didn't have a run that went, they had one single run that went for more than 1 yard. The first 4 drives in the second half had 29 yards and 1 first down. The Bears went from not pressuring to then starting to pressure, and the Packers' game plan didn't adjust at all. It felt like LaFleur was just trying to run the clock out, just go run, pass. If we could pick up a first down and bleed off another 120 seconds from there, great, let's do that. And then because of complete clock mismanagement and burning all the timeouts, they're eventually left with one timeout 50 seconds ago. But at 3:11 in the fourth, Golden had a great game. Golden, coming out party for Golden. What did he end up with? Matthew Golden, 4 receptions, 84 yards and a touchdown. An absolutely fantastic play that he scored the touchdown on. A little, dump off to the outside. He makes some moves, breaks some tackles, gets by some people, scores a touchdown, put us up 27-16. And in that moment, I kind of took a deep breath and I was like, oh. Actually, I didn't take a deep breath. I stood up, I screamed, and I fist pumped. But then after that, 3:11, and I made a very distinct note of this. Golden with a nice grab at 3:11 to get down to the 20. Completely stall out after that. End up getting a delay of game coming out of a timeout before third down. And then McManus misses the kick. He had missed 2 field goals and an extra point. I'll even write off the 1 field goal because it was longer. But that one wasn't. That's one you have to make, and you can't miss extra points. That's 4 points gone. That alone just ties the game up in how it played out. But it would have changed the way the game was played completely from that moment going forward. So at 3:11, that would have put them, where I got to get back to my overview here. 3:11 left in the game. That would have made it 30-16. They would have knowingly had to go get 2 touchdowns. It changes everything. And then I mean, I'm not knocking Jader. He dropped a ball. He played a good game otherwise. He dropped a ball. It was second down. He would have been maybe out of bounds with about 50 seconds left down near like the 35. Gives them a whole different perspective going in, trying to score the game, but score at the end of the game. But it's like they had one timeout coming in. They had to burn it at 44 seconds. Then a lineman goes down. They lose 10 seconds that way. Love almost hit Watson in the end zone to score. I don't know if Watson just couldn't track the ball, wasn't ready. But that was a great pass by Jordan Love. Jordan Love played a very good game. 24 46, a lot of incompletions. He threw like 3 or 4 away right at the end of the first half. Just killing clock and, getting the ball out of bounds. Not killing clock so much, but just getting the ball out of bounds to save time. 323, 4 touchdowns, did not turn it over. This was a loss by Matt LaFleur and the coaching staff. This was a loss by the general manager that set up one of the worst secondaries maybe in the NFL, especially of the playoff teams. I mean, what has happened to Xavier McKinney? I don't even say his name anymore, other than that he's dropped a couple interceptions throughout the year. Josh Jacobs looked incredible in the first half, and then the line just got dominated in the second half. I know they're down 2. They're down Jenkins. Tom couldn't go. But it was like they almost took the ball out of Love's hands. It's like, what? I didn't have much expectations going into the game, and then they played the first half like they played the first half. I think that's the most frustrating thing about this team, is that they flashed so much this year. And I know they've been just annihilated with injuries. Devontae, you're going to hear me say all these names again. Devontae Wyatt, Tucker Kraft, Micah Parsons, Elton Jenkins, Zach Tom's been beat up. Watson and Reed were out for stretches of the year. Like, I know they've been just decimated by injuries. You get up 21-3 at halftime and 21-6 going into the fourth quarter. You have to win the game. You have to. I thought it would have been time for Matt LaFleur to go. All reports are that they are working to extend him. There needs to be a different mindset from LaFleur. When LaFleur gets cautious, they lose football games. Kurt Benkert, and I've never really said his name back. Kurt Benkert put out a nice little recap, I thought, on Twitter. Packers recap. Wasted a timeout before the half. Forced a 55-yard field goal attempt instead of having 35 more seconds to get closer. Ben Johnson, nice kicker, he missed. Third quarter, stale run game into heavy box with no adjustments into the early fourth quarter, which is when the offense started to pick back up again. Wasted second half timeouts on defensive adjustments too early to leave no time left for the offense. What else did I miss? Missed field goals, extra point, etc. But blowing a 21-3 lead is inexcusable. He said, this is another tweet. At the end of the day, I actually feel bad for LaFleur. I think he wants to win really damn bad, but is his own worst enemy at times. There were things out of his control tonight that went south, but at the end of the day, he didn't give them the best chance to win in the second half with play calling in the third, especially, or clock management all throughout. That's been his theme, and it's a killer. Foot on the gas, LaFleur, with nothing to lose is a great one. The conservative hope the clock runs and game ends with them in the lead is the bad one. Gotta say F it, let's ride all the time. It's so true. I've said this throughout the year that there was a point in the year where I was like, I don't think LaFleur needs to go, but he might need to give up play calling duties. And I think that's maybe even true coming back next year. That, hey, if you are going to be calling plays, you got to be aggressive. Like, that's where this team has thrived. And the fact that we ignored Matthew Golden all year for guys like Bo Melton and Dontavian Wicks is mind-blowing in hindsight, seeing what he did in that game Saturday night. He showed up. There is a nice little core of receivers with Dobbs, Golden, Reed, and Watson now. I don't know what all the contract things are. Dobbs might be nearing the end of his contract here. Watson's back for one more year. Reed should be good for a couple. He's playing the final year of a 4-year rookie deal. So they're going to have to figure something out with him. He's going to get paid a little bit. He might not be back. He might not be back, especially if they saw what they liked out of Matthew Golden. What's Jaden Reed? He's got a couple. He came in after Dobbs. Yeah, he signed in 2023, so he's through till 2020. God, next year's kind of a go year. Man, next year's kind of like a get after it because Watson's under contract next year, but after that, yeah, that keeps him. He's got a 1-year extension through 2026. Next year's the year, really, kind of make or break. If you can get Parsons back, if you can get Tucker Kraft back, you can get the line shored up. Like in the offseason, they're going to have to go do something to shore up the line and shore up the defensive backfield. Those are tough spots. I've mentioned before, Josh Jacobs' contract gets a little squirrely. That goes up in price. There's going to have to be some creativity in the offseason from Gutekunst. I did almost think this was probably going to do LaFleur in a loss like this, but I mean, you got John Harbaugh sitting out there. I guess he's got a house up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which isn't too far away from Green Bay. I thought that might be a trigger to pull, but if they get LaFleur and they're like, look, you got to stop being a pussy. Just go for it. Just be aggressive. But I mean, just add it to another long list of debilitating Packers playoff losses in the last 15 years. Just absolute, complete 100% chokes. They've gone down in bad ways. We're going to do some more like full season reflection. And again, I don't think this team could have won a Super Bowl. So had they lost 31-27 in a different way, I'd be upset. I don't know that I'd be saying LaFleur needs to go depending on how it went. Like just say they were just down by a touchdown the whole game and just couldn't win at the end. And there weren't a bunch of massive dumb mistakes. I'll tell you one thing. There's one coach that needs fired. Rich Bisaccia. Gotta go. The Packers have had the worst special teams unit in the league for something like 10 straight, almost like 10 years now. Like they've peaked up to like 20th. But most years they're in the 30s. There are 32 teams in the league. There's only 3 teams that can be in the 30s. The Packers have been there multiple times over the last 5 years. Or 10. I forget exactly what it is. It's bad. He has to go. I mean, at one point, they just threw Josh Jacobs back to return a kick, and he fumbled it. I know he returned kicks at Alabama, but like, when was the last time he returned a kick in the NFL? Has he ever returned a kick in the NFL? And we're doing it in the second half of a playoff game? If Rich Bisaccia is still a coach next year for the Green Bay Packers, it's absolute malpractice by the Green Bay Packers coaching staff. Or front office. Once we get towards the end of the season, I'll do a little Packers end of the year recap. See what it all felt like. Look ahead, kind of as we approach the draft, something along those lines. And just kind of look back with a little clearer head. We're still fresh. This is fresh. I sat there, I was hyped. And then the walls come crumbling down like usual. All right. That was, by the way, part of a string of just wild, fun playoff games. The Carolina Panthers and the Los Angeles Rams played a great one. The Rams got up 14-0 early in the second. It's like, oh yeah, this is exactly what it looks like it's going to be. Then at the end of the second half, it's 17-14 going into halftime. It's like the Panthers are alive, baby. The Panthers end up taking the lead to start the fourth. The Rams take it back in the fourth. The Panthers take it back again. Then the Rams take it back with 38 seconds left. Just back and forth all game long. I mean, Puka actually had he could have scored at the end of the first half. Left the Panthers in it. If I had $150,000 in the football team, that's not enough to buy a football team. I mean, the Panthers blocked a punt. Stafford goes out there. What'd he say? What Devontae Adams say? Let's go snatch their souls or something like that. Just a fun game. Just a really fun game that opened up looking like it was going to be the game we all kind of thought it was going to be, which was that the Rams were just going to go in there and beat up the 8-9 Panthers. It wasn't. And then we get Sunday, first game Sunday, Bills-Jags. They're exchanging scores. It's 3-0, it's 7-3, it's 10-7, it's 13-7, it's 13-10, it's 13-17. It's 20-17, it's 24-20, it's 27-24. Back and forth, back and forth. A lot of fourth quarter lead changes in these two. So there were 4 fourth quarter lead changes in Carolina and LA. In Jacksonville and Buffalo, there were again 4 fourth quarter lead changes. There was just 1 fourth quarter lead change in the Packers-Bears game. Oh, I forgot one. Here's a fun stat for the Packers and Bears. 3 games this year. Offensive plays run with the lead in the 3 Packers-Bears games this season. The Packers, 106 plays their offense ran with the lead. The Bears, 0. The Bears never ran a play on offense when their team had the lead. Not one single play. Every time the Chicago Bears offense was on the field, they were losing the game or scoring the game-winning or go-ahead touchdown. That's incredible. All right, back to Bills-Jags. Josh Allen got pushed in to the goal line from like 10 yards out. It was like 4th and inches on like the 11. He got pushed down to the 1. Just incredible. Then he gets in the next time. Yeah, just a wildly fun weekend. I mean, then you go 49ers-Eagles was another good one. Back and forth. 49ers take the lead early. Philly misses a kick, but it's 7-6. Dallas Goedert had himself a nice day. 2 touchdowns, I believe. Eagles take the lead back. 49ers get a field goal. Eagles get up 6. Oh, here comes Juwan Jennings throwing a deep ball to Christian McCaffrey, who hauls it in. Then the Eagles take the lead back again, but then Purdy finds McCaffrey down by the end zone. They get the lead, and the Eagles can't come back. And you got Eagles fans all over the world calling for the head of the guy that won them the Super Bowl last year. Awesome. Love it. 1 year removed. I think my biggest takeaway from Eagles 49ers is Jalen Hurts is a winner. Don't get me wrong. He's a limited quarterback throwing the ball. If the Eagles can establish the run and use Jalen Hurts as a runner to complement what he does as a throwing quarterback, it's a good scenario, and you can win games and you can win Super Bowls, as is clearly obvious from what they did last year, and they've reached a Super Bowl with him as well. He is not a complete passer. That's what it is. And the fact that maybe they haven't utilized him enough to run this year might be something to take a look at. Just something to consider. Josh Allen remains a dude. And then the Patriots win in a stinker over the Chargers. Herbert just got banged up again. They got to do something with that line. And then I guess us to tonight. We got Steelers-Texans. I'm sure this won't end in a heartbreak for your boy either. But we got some fun matchups already next week. We got Saturday, 49ers-Seahawks, the rematch. We got the Bills going to the Broncos. We got Rams-Bears, and we get Patriots get the winner of this game tonight. 3 matchups set. Doesn't always happen that way. There could, at this point with this late game, depending on the seeding, because, it's not just set ways it goes. It could fall, either way or another. So we got some fun matchups coming up. I mean, Steelers, Patriots, Texans, Patriots, those are both fun games. I don't think the Steelers can get it done. Rodgers doesn't have the movement he used to. That Texans front line's gonna be coming for him. It's gonna be coming for him. Let me just check my notes, my pictures, make sure I didn't miss anything. anything I wanted to make note of. Through three games this postseason, there's already been 3 game-winning TDs in the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. That's already the most in a single postseason in NFL history. Single postseason, and that had happened at the Bills game. Did the 49ers-Eagles game, was that in the last 2 minutes? Now, was it, they finished under 3 minutes. So, not everything can be perfect. Not everything can be perfect. George Kittle tore his Achilles. Terrible. I mean, I watched it roll up the back of his leg. You could kind of see, it, the snap, and then the calf went flying up. Oh. All right. Yeah. I'll be back in, literally seconds to give you the Monday night addendum, if you will. All right, let's keep rolling. Well, I didn't need to stay up for that. Steelers get demolished. Rodgers goes out in a whimper. That sucked. They were around for a while. 7-6 at a couple point for a while, 10-6, and then fourth quarter just gets blown open. Sack fumble. Then the Texans drive it down and score a touchdown. Probably should have went there on that 4th and 13 from midfield, but what do you do? I mean, they couldn't move the ball. Then Rodgers throws an interception to end maybe his career. I mean, just a complete domination by the Texans. 408 total yards to $175 for the Steelers. Had C.J. Stroud not thrown that interception down near the goal line, I think he might have fumbled at one. They must have ruled that other one a fumble. But yeah, that stunk. That stunk. That's a terrible way for Rodgers to go out. If that's it for 12, or in later years 8, but I'm going to remember him as 12. If that's it for him, thanks for the ride, Rodgers. Thanks for the ride. It was awesome. College football, like I said at the start, I completely forgot. I had this on my notes to talk to MJ about the college football playoff a little bit last week. Then we just got going. I completely forgot to do it. So, yeah, we had a good game Thursday night. I fell asleep a little bit at the end. I came back basically to see the final Miami drive as they scored with about 15 to 20 seconds left, whatever it was. 18 as I'm looking at it here. And yeah, I missed some stuff. As I fell asleep in the fourth quarter, that's when all the lead changes started happening. Mississippi, Ole Miss takes the lead with about 7 minutes. Miami answers. And then Ole Miss comes back and answers again, just, a minute and a half later. And then the final drive, Miami gets it done. So I did see that Michael Irvin, I don't know if he's still on the good stuff, but he is just out of control on the sidelines. Miami, the U is back. And I was saying this to somebody when they showed maybe at the start of that game that they'd won something like 5 national titles from 80 to 2001. And my memory of Miami as a kid was always they were one of, if not the best programs in the nation. A little controversy. And, they won that national title and then had the one robbed from them the next year with those 2 awesome teams. The phantom penalty that comes in 20 seconds after the play's over. They have to clear the field. Ohio State scores, wins the game. But I guess I'd forgotten that it's 2001 is a long time ago now. And that I'd forgotten how awesome they were. And that's the reason we all thought they were what they were. But they're back. The U is back. We're back. And then in the second game, Friday evening, I was watching this game, playing some games with the boys, and belt to ass. Just dominant. I mean, every time I turned around, touchdown. I mean, interception to start the game. Whoops. But hey, Oregon settled in right away and answered. But then the second quarter happened. I mean, Then essentially the very end of the first, Indiana scores, and then 3 more touchdowns in the second quarter. They come back out in the third and put another one right on them. And whatever little hope there was, completely extinguished. Just a 7-minute, about 6-minute drive, just down the field, stuff it in. Night. This team, it's incredible. I mean, what Cignetti has done at Indiana these last 2 years is nothing short of incredible. He gave a great post-game, not the press conference, the interview down the field. The interviewer was like, "Hey, no, you're probably already looking ahead to next week, but can you bask in like the greatness of the last 2 years?" He's like, "I'm only looking forward to a nice cold beer." I was like, God damn, Cignetti, just incredible. Like, talks the talk and backs it up. Like, I was giving him some shit last year. He's like, we don't just beat top 25s, we beat the shit out of them. It's like, he beat Nebraska last year. This year's different. Battled through some adversity, went into some tough places, went into Penn State in a game that looked like they may lose, found it, went down there, and then just beat the ever-living shit out of Oregon. Like, that was not a competitive football game after the first 14 minutes of that game. Why did I say 14? First 15 minutes of that game. Just destroyed them. There's the Simpsons meme that chuckles, I'm in danger. And I saw one get posted, and it's the Miami Hurricane mascot on the bus. Chuckles, I'm in danger. I think you are in danger. This team's unbelievable. Just I mean, what do you do? I mean, if you just go back and look at Indiana this year, let's just walk through. I mean, they play nobody to start the year. You know, they play Old Dominion, Kennesaw State. They don't give a hoot. Indiana State, they beat the shit out of all of them. Then they beat the shit out of Illinois. They go into Iowa and win a tight one. They go into Oregon and beat them. Beat up on Michigan State. Beat up on UCLA. Beat up on Maryland. Talked about the Penn State game. Beat up on Wisconsin. Beat up on Purdue. They go and beat Ohio State. Then they demolish Alabama and demolish Oregon. They're peaking. Not only have they beat up people all year, they're peaking in the playoffs. They've won their 2 playoff games by 35 and 33 points. And there was like a pity score at the end of the game. Oregon scored with 22 seconds left, or they would have won by 41. They won by 34. Did I say 34 or 33? They were up 41 with 5 minutes left in the game. And the pity score came in. This team's unreal. I did see one thing. It was like, could you imagine if Deion Sanders spoke the way Cignetti did? If Deion Sanders' team was doing this, he would be front page news. It would be all Deion all day on ESPN. Like, guess what? I'm a real big believer, and I'll get to. So I've said this with the Packers too. Like, Ben Johnson's in the locker room. Fuck you, fuck the Packers, fuck them. It's like, you know what? You know how you shut them up, you win. And guess what? Cignetti's winning. He gets to talk a little shit. That's how it works. When Deion's teams or what? So last year, Indiana would have been 11-2, so they're 15-0, so 26. Yeah, when Deion wins 26 of 28 games, he can say whatever the hell he wants. Cignetti's talking that talk and walking that walk, and this Indiana team, I think, goes down to Miami, plays Miami, and I don't know if it'll be a home game because, you know, these title games now have gotten so insanely priced and they're corporatized, whatever, and beats Miami in their backyard. We're talking all-time college football team here. Indiana. Indiana's going to win the national title. Think about that. I'm on record. That's what's happening. Probably won't be close. Let's talk a little Flyers now. Not the best week for the Flyers. They're holding steady in the 3rd position in the division. Again, the Caps and the Caps are tied with them in points wise, but again, three games behind the Caps there. Those Pittsburgh Penguins are nipping on the heels, just 1 point back with just one more game played. So they're right in it. And then you get down to the Devils. They're 6 points ahead of the Devils with a couple games in the pocket for them. Again, still they're essentially tied with the Sabres for the wild card, and the Caps and the Bruins and other teams there. Again, 3 more games for the Caps and the Bruins, the other 2 teams in the wild card. So positioned okay still. Like I said, not the greatest week. Got off to a nice start though. The Ducks came to town. It was Gauthier. Oh. His first game back in Philly after orchestrating that trade out of town. The move that brought Zegras to Philly. And I was happy to see that Zegras got the better of him. Gauthier actually opened up the game with the first score, but Zegras answered back quickly from like the deep corner, just sliding one in there. He doubled up from almost the exact same spot. I thought it was even deeper the second time. Flyers end up getting out and ahead of that one. He gave him the old hang up the phone, and in a post-game interview, they're like, what was that celebration? He's like, I just hung up the phone as fast as those guys hung up on me. So a little, and also dropped a couple of fuckins in the post-game interview right on the Flyers network. So nice to see him do that. The Maple Leafs, they ended up scoring first in that game. I couldn't watch this game. I was had golf league, and then they ended up, I believe they scored pretty late in the third to send it to OT, and then the Maple Leafs got the game winner in overtime. And then the Tampa Bay Lightning just put it on them. 7-2, 4 goals in the third, 2 in the first, 1 in the third. In the third period, by that point, I had the game on. I wasn't really paying attention. That was right when the Packers game was going. It was like every time I looked, it was like 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 7-1. Like what is happening? I think they've been outscored by the Lightning like 11-2 or something at this point in the year now. And guess what? You get to turn right around and do it again. Big week, a lot of games this week for the Flyers. They got 4 games this week. They've got the Lightning at home, back-to-back home games, Saturday, Monday, home games against the same team. Very interesting scheduling setup there. So they've got the Lightning again. Hopefully they can exercise some demons, get back into it. The Sabres, like we said, they're there. They're hanging around. Penguins are hanging around. And then the Rangers at home again on Saturday. So a couple home games sandwiched around a couple of road games at Buffalo, at Pittsburgh. Always want to beat Pittsburgh. You got the Rangers in there. They're all teams that are about the same. Rangers, 46 points. Penguins, 51 points. Sabres, 52 points. Then you obviously have Tampa Bay, 57 points. They're a good team. So, I mean, do what you can against the Lightning, because it's not been an ideal matchup this year. And then you got some competitive games the rest of the week. So big matchups this week before they head back west again. The following week when they're out at Vegas, out at Utah, out at Colorado. All later start times. Your boy's going to be struggling to get through all them. Let's get these early windows. Let's play well while I can watch. So, also the Carolina Tar Heels. They hadn't played since last Saturday, I believe. It's weird. It's not showing when you Google search them like I usually do to check their schedule. I think this was the first time they've played since they lost to SMU. Gave up a boatload of points against SMU. Yeah, this is the first they played. Played Wake Forest. Ends up being a 3-point game. They were up 11.5 and had extended it out on a couple of different occasions to a larger margin. But like this game was also kind of going on like when the Packers were getting started. This game started at like 5. Packers game was at 7. So I was watching kind of the end of it and just like looking back and forth. And it was just like, every time I looked over, it was like Wake Forest was making a move. But they outlast, and the big boys for Carolina, again, coming through. I mean, Caleb Wilson, the freshman, just leading the team in points and rebounds. Another double-double, 22 and 12, 8 and 9 from the field, 6-8 from the free throw line. Then his other partner up there in the front court, Henry Vassar. I don't exactly know how to say it. He has 25 and 9. He was 9 of 10 from the field. Those guys were 17 of 19 from the field. He was 5 of 7 from the free throw line. He knocked down 2 threes as well. So, I mean, that's a formidable front court for the Heels. They bounce back off that loss. They've got a couple games this week. They go to Stanford, to California. So a little West Coast road trip for the Heels. We're sneaking up on that February 7th matchup against the hated Duke Blue Devils. They vaulted all the way up to 6 in the country. Duke's up to 1, so we're headed for a top 5 matchup if the Heels and the Blue Devils can keep on winning. And you always love a top 10 Heels Blue Devils matchup in the first weekend of February. Now that they've moved that to an all-time Saturday game, I liked it better when the first game was a weeknight, and then the second game, if it was played, it was always like the Saturday afternoon. But they've moved them both to like late Saturday afternoon, early Saturday evening. And this is all screwed up on Carolina, like the Carolina website. Like when you Google it, it's like it doesn't have games, doesn't have the end of the year games. Like it's not showing the last game against Duke. But let me double check the schedule that's all that's happening this week. Yeah, Wednesday, Saturday at Stanford, at Cal. Then the following Wednesday, Saturday. Then the following Saturday. Then they go Monday, Saturday. I feel like they used to play more weekday games, not just all their games on Saturdays. I don't know. That's been like a little bit of a scheduling change I feel like from when I grew up watching college basketball, that it used to be a little bit more spread out. Now it's like every game's on Saturday. Like it's like a college football. It's like you play a weekday game, then you play a Saturday game. Start at, high noon and work it all the way through. So, all right, let's keep this trainer rolling. Time for some passing thoughts. I just want to start with it meaning more. Because you know what? It just means more. Especially in the SEC, right? It means so much that their bowl record this year is 4-10. 4-10. 4-10. And if you remove SEC versus SEC matchups, I believe that makes them 2-8. With one of those wins being Ole Miss over Tulane. Alabama also beat Oklahoma, and then Ole Miss beat Georgia. One win for the SEC over a Power 4 team. Texas beats Michigan. The Michigan team that came into the bowl without their head coach. Texas A&M loses to Miami. Virginia takes down Missouri. Houston takes down LSU. Illinois takes down Tennessee. Iowa takes down Vanderbilt after Diego Pavia ran his mouth. Texas beats Michigan. Indiana absolutely drum fucks Alabama. Ole Miss, like I said, beats Wake Forest. Wake Forest beats Mississippi State, and then Miami beats Ole Miss. Just means more. Big, slow, terrible Big Ten is 10-5. Granted, I'm not going to count too much into the Big Ten because you're getting Indiana clocking in 2 of those wins. And like one of those was against an in-conference team, so whatever. But I mean, Oregon did beat Texas Tech 23-0. It's not nothing. Okay. Another sport thing. As of today, Brooks Koepka is a member of the PGA Tour once again. They're basically giving it a one-time pathway back, is what they're calling it. A returning member program. Basically, Brooks Koepka is not eligible for PGA Tour equity for the next 5 years. The PGA Tour is like, it could be worth up to $50 to $85 million. It's like, could it? Could it not? Who knows? I don't. I'm not the business freak, but he's back. He does have to make a $5 million charitable donation. But let's look up what not even his contract. but just what his earnings were. They figure signing bonus of 100 to 120 million. I mean, he made 45 million in prize money. So he should have it. He should have it. They basically opened it up. I think it was you could win the players or any of the majors from 2020 up till now. Basically opens it up for Bryson, John Rahm, and Cam Smith. If they get another one of those guys, holy shit. That could not be good. There's just like, who else is over there? Like Phil's over there? But like, who is even in Live right now? We'll have golf next week, I believe. We didn't have the Century this week because of all the droughts and whatnot, but we should have golf to talk about next week. I mean, Joaquin Neiman, Sergio, Bubba, DJ, but like, how could DJ not be back in? If I'll have to look into this further and talk about it more going forward. Who knows? There might be another name next time we look. Can never know. Can never know. There we go. Trump actually did something I thought was good for once is floated. He's looking to ban corporations buying single-family homes, which has been a thing that's been obviously not good for the housing economy, for the regular Joe trying to buy homes for themselves just to live in, not a giant company buying them to rent out. You'll rent and you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. That kind of bullshit. So that'd be cool to see that happen. I mean, I think it's a bad thing that corporations can just buy up single family houses and take them off the market and pay extra money for them. I know it's a little weird. I'm into capitalism, but I don't know. I feel like a single family home is supposed to be bought by a single family so that they can use it. And like, hey, do I have a problem with like a person who's also buying up properties to rent to other people? Not nearly as much as I do just a giant ass corporation that has found a way to be on corporate welfare. So yeah, I am heading to capitalism more as I talk about it because like they're getting corporate welfare to do all this bullshit. So, all right. Oh, here, I found the thing. Only players who have won a major or players championship since 2022 have the ability to be reinstated. So it's Brooks, Bryson, John Rahm, and Cam Smith. 2022, not 2020. Yeah, someone commented they did feel dirty. They did that on purpose. That for sure was how they did that. They made sure 2022. So 22, 23, 24, 25. Yeah, 4 years. That 100% was exactly why they did it. Players who were reinstated will be ineligible for the player equity program for 5 years, worth an estimated 50 to 85 billion. Oh, and ineligible for the 2026 FedEx bonus. Okay. And will be required to donate $5 million to charity. So there you have it. Let's talk a little food. Made some buffalo chicken dip for the game Saturday night. Whipping it up real nice. Got all the ingredients in there. Throw it in the oven. And as I'm mixing it up, the roommate's like, does that just not look right? I'm like, no, it looks fine. I put everything in. I measured it. Found the recipe I like to use. Good to go. As I pull it out of the oven to sprinkle the cheese on it, it hit me. I never put any chicken in. We had thrown some chicken in the crock pot, gotten it shredded up, just not ready at all. Just not in there. It was ready, waiting for me, and I just didn't put it in buffalo chicken dip. I just tossed it in, whip it in. It totally worked out. Buffalo chicken dip is fantastic. With some Fritos chips. Delicious. Delicioso. The roommate also made some puppy chow. Now, with a little twist, she did it with Ritz Bits. Peanut butter Ritz Bits with puppy chow. Made into puppy chow. Oh, was that good. Last night, I was eating it, and I'd like grab the bowl it was in, and I was just like picking through it, and then I was grabbing all the little the powdered sugary parts that make to the chocolate, and like pressing in, a Ritz Bits into it to get all the extra on there. And she eventually looked over at me and she's like, oh my God, that thing was like a third of the way full. And now there's like almost nothing. I just was like, it was like so embarrassing, but I was like, I can't stop. It's so good. I had to just give her the bucket and be like, you got to keep it away from me. I didn't touch a single bit of it today. I'm very proud of myself. I've left what little I had already left for her because God damn, that stuff is so good. The peanut butter Ritz Bits is a game changer in there. Just takes it to a whole new level. Just absolutely delicious. And then two things. Watch Naked Gun, the new one with Liam Neeson and Pam Anderson. It was funny. Like, if you like the original Naked Guns and you're in for just some dumb humor, it's for you. If you're looking for an Oscar movie, you're not going to like it. But if you just want to have a good time and just chill and shut down for an hour and a half, it's an hour and a half. It's not 2.5 fucking hours. Like, it's the perfect length. It's a good time. I'd suggest it. I would suggest it. And this is what I'm going to end with. As a resident of PA, Pennsylvania, I saw someone who was from Pennsylvania, and it's Kat Dennings. Is that her name? She's on some shows on TV. Now I got to look her up to remember. Yeah, Kat Dennings. And she was on a show the roommate and I watch sometimes when we eat some dinner. What's it called? Good Mythical Morning on YouTube. And they asked her where she was from. She's like, oh, Pennsylvania. And I literally stopped the video and said to the roommate, I was like, I guarantee you she's from like near Philly area. Because like, if you're from Pennsylvania and you say like where you're from, so many of us would just be like, PA. I feel like it's a big, you get anywhere in like north of the center of the state, anywhere like west of Harrisburg and like away from Pittsburgh, it's like I'm from PA versus Pennsylvania. PA? Pennsylvania. I've always said it's two different. It's PA, Pittsburgh, and Philly are where you're from. Just, I don't know. You other people from PA might even think I'm an idiot for saying that. But, oh well, that's what I think. Let's go wrap this thing up. Closing time, everybody. Just want to say thank you to everybody. I appreciate the support, especially in my trying time as a Packers fan here. So thank you. Thank you to producer Kevy for helping us get started on video. Don't be afraid to go check out my guy MJ at the Full Range Pod over on Spotify or on the Ole Walls House YouTube channel. You can find his merch and my merch in the link in the show notes below at our merch shop. Get yourself some merch, people. We're back next week. More NFL playoffs. College football title is next Monday, so I'm probably not staying up all the way for that. So you might get that following. Hockey. I think we're gonna have some golf next week. I think the PGA Tour's back for that. So a lot of fun stuff coming up. Good stuff. Let me just see the schedule. We're getting Sony Open January 15th. Yeah, we got golf this week. You'll have golf next week. So all good stuff coming next week. Till then, peace.